We've got some Street Fighter 6 news to talk about. And like I said, it's not so much updates, even though we've been getting plenty of updates for Avatar Fighter 6 in the sense of costumes and battle costumes for your avatar.
Making no sense.
More than a single costume for anybody in Street Fighter 6, for that matter. I don't think anyone has received anything outside of your retro ones, but you get those from the game if you grind out and such. So, you know, we're waiting for that to go down, but on the other side of things, Capcom has kind of made an interesting kind of stance on, you know, something that we hold near and dear here, which is, of course, mods, right? If you're on the PC right now, you're not sweating DLC costumes or really any content because modders out there have had you since the beta, right? Since the beta months, I've been breaking this game wide open, or really any game in the RE engine, wide open. And it's showing off that Capcom has a couple words for that. Really cool article over at boundingtocomics.com. Capcom takes aim at PC game modding, says developers should be concerned over mods that are offensive to public order and morals. Now, off the rip, I don't know about you, or really anybody that actually does mod, or maybe has seen mods in the game, right? Whether you are watching your favorite streamer have a really cool, interesting mod for the character that they play, maybe a different color palette, maybe even their branding on the jacket, or maybe you're a TO or possible commentator that accidentally streamed, you know, Chun-Li in her birthday suit. I don't think at any point anyone will then confuse and go, did Capcom release that? Like, I can't believe Capcom made a fucking a birthday suit for Chun-Li, just has her thighs just out there and everything else in between. I cannot believe Capcom will do that. I will sully the reputation of Capcom because of this. I just don't see that happening, but Capcom is acting as if these kinds of mods that are, you know, eventually going to happen. I'm sorry, bro. It is called Rule 34 for a reason. If it's something slightly attractive, there is probably some sort of porn or something of it out there in the wild. Video games are no different. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it came from video games. Anyway, I know that's to an extreme, but that's basically how they're treating it. That, like, you know, anything that doesn't align with them, they're instantly gonna be like, it's just not for them, which is fine. They don't have to be affiliated with it. Just because it happens to be in your game, that just means your game's cracked open. But they're like, you know, they're working on a lot of anti-cheat, anti-piracy methods. They had a big old open conference talking about the Resident Evil engine from, you know, in 2023. And they had some really cool statements in there. Like, you know, PC games have a high degree of freedom, but they also are free to be tampered with. I'm like,
but are you saying yeah to that, or are you not saying yeah to that?
So that's the funny thing. So that's what they stated. As per, as per Capcom, by who's it? Yahagi. I'm trying to remember his gentleman's full name. Taro Yahagi. The Capcom programmer Taro Yahagi praised the alarm about the whole like high degree of freedom. They can also be tampered with. His declaration stating, in the company's eyes, all mods are defined as cheats, except when they are officially supported. What modders are doing internally is no different than cheating. So they're viewing your mods as cheating. And that little blurb there, except when they are officially supported. Remember, I can guarantee they're specifically talking about the mod. I don't know if you remember in Street Fighter 5, especially by the end of it, with Street Fighter, I don't know if it's Street Fighter League or just Capcom Cup in general. You know, nobody wants to see training stage over, you know, every single match all over, like every game, right? Awesome backgrounds, awesome backdrops that your developers put in time for and paid people to design, and then competitively on broadcast you're never going to see, because you know, the hardcore gamers, the competitors, they're playing with training stage because they want to make sure their game is playing at the correct speed, blah 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 blah. There was a mod that let the players, or rather the client that is watching them, no matter what stage they pick, especially if they pick training stage, so the players play training stage, the spectator, the mod helps the spectator, or even, you know, someone else who's watching, to have a different stage in the background. Capcom used that mod on the PC side of things to ensure their production was better because of it.
Well, that's promoting their game still, right? You're not technically tampering with the game itself, but you're tampering with something that
cheating.
would support them.
It's cheating.
Well, no, it supports them. They said that, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's weird when we talk about tampering with a game. First off, I've always thought that whenever we buy a game, it's mine to do whatever the hell I want with it, as long as I don't affect other people, right? So if I put a mod on that's a skin mod, then as long as it doesn't affect your character or the gameplay, who cares? That's what it should be. But the way they're targeting, it's kind of scary because there's been a lot of quality of life helpful things. We've seen it in Blaze Blue, we've seen it in BB Tag, we've seen it even in DNF Duel, where sometimes getting rid of the background because some people can't run the game because you didn't make the game designed to run on a lesser computer. Guess what? It's gotten more people into the game. So are we supporting the product or are we ruining it?
Yeah.
So like,
They said the majority of mods have positive impact on the game. Some mods, however, can be detrimental to the company, both reputational damage and product workload. I still don't understand that. Like,
you can't
I'm seeing Chun-Li in a bunny outfit here. I don't expect Capcom to have officially done that if they're keeping a certain branding. Like, I understand that. If they did, I'd be like, oh wow, look at that. But I don't see their reputation being destroyed over that, like making it worse. Like, hello, look at that modder at Nexus 64 adds Street Fighter 5 costume to Street Fighter 6. Looks fucking amazing. Why don't you just like I'm trying to think about it the other way. I'm like, these mods are already done, they look amazing. Why not pay some of these modders for their work? Maybe bring it up to snuff a little bit in certain instances for yourself, because it's your intellectual property. You can do that. Pay them for their work. Hey, let us have all rights to your model. You can't distribute it. We'll pay you though. Tweak it to make it look the way we want to. You just saved yourself development time, more or less. Not like full development time, you're still putting some time into it, but like, I don't see why they view it that way, because guess what? You're not giving us costumes yet. People are still, you're gonna have a jury pajamas mod before you actually decide to release that one. Ninja Turtles was an avatar like that you have to pay out. There's Hagar and Saddam that just dropped for your avatars. Like, Capcom, like, if you don't want more mods to happen, maybe you should also release some stuff. But I get it, maybe they want to release things and they think the mods are going to be detrimental to their sales too,
because they're not gonna. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so my thing here, I don't know if you've already covered this, or maybe I'm just thinking it off the top of my head. They are trying to crack down on the mods that are actually cheaters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This gets umbrellaed into it.
Yeah.
Whereas the same type of deal. Okay, who else is doing this? Or was it the Brooks converter thing we were talking?
We haven't talked about it yet, but that was the whole Microsoft thing going on, right, with third-party controllers and all. That's a different thing we're talking about.
But in this case, it's like casualties of it all, like or collateral damage of the sort. Like, they don't, like, if they do make a change or a patch where it's like let's say the next engine is sort of gonna patch that, it's gonna be something that catches what, if you can't have one without catching the other.
Yeah, like, some of the most popular games nowadays, and today the biggest, especially in esports, were mods, were changes from mods of other games, and have built their own. Not to say this is what's happening here, but that openness kind of is healthy for the community, really. Sure, people are always going to do some wild shit. Like, you're not going to stop people from doing that, but you just have to say, like, hey, listen, we're open to mods, but they do not reflect our blah blah blah. So you kind of, I don't know why you could just take a simple PR thing like that. Be like, hey, listen, we are letting you guys mod, but we do not, anything offensive or blah, 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 hateful, this and that does not reflect our core values. Like, we're going to bring core values out. Our core values or whatever. And there you go. You kind of have best of both worlds. You save face by saying, hey, listen, you guys don't reflect us, but you paid the money. It's your product. Quote unquote, right? Mess with it. I mean, yeah, it's not really just, like I said, it's the RE engine. So, even Resident Evil 4 has seen that happen.
Let me throw some real hard facts here, because I feel like what people are also missing is, and this happens with other games too, the moment you decide to start attacking mods, well, not even attacking mods, let's put it this way, the moment you decide to start creating an anti-cheat system to stop, let's say, hackers, right? Or modders in general, because yeah, you have your anti-cheat for hackers, but if we're including modders to some degree because you're saying they're all in the same category because they're maliciously affecting the game in some way, once you do that, you categorize all modders, including the ones who've designed skins, developed backgrounds for things, developed systems that lower the resolution and the graphics. Once you do that, you remove the ability for the modders to now implement their modding effects, right? So what that does is now you've essentially targeted a whole group of people who might have been supporting what you're doing. You haven't given them a platform, you haven't given them anything. So you can't really funnel out when you design a system for cheating to cut out mods, because that's what you're categorizing them as. And when you do that, you just destroyed the whole modding scene. Which then, let's be real, I'm gonna give some truth. A lot of people don't realize that, yeah, when people do these anti-mods, like these mods to get around other systems, it may take them extra days, but they're gonna figure it out anyway, where it doesn't affect it. We did it with Dragon Ball, like, you know, and I thought it was really cool to be able to play, let's say, Trunks or another character with a professional team. So if I was part of Cloud9, I had the Cloud9 on my Trunks character. So now I'm promoting not only the game, I'm also promoting, you know, the organization I'm part of. So I think it just like, there's this like fine line of when you do implement something like this and you talk about it, their wording, we talked about it earlier, wording is very key. And I feel like their wording is very poorly done to some degree on some aspects. Like you just got to separate modders from people who are intentionally hacking or affecting the game to the degree of hurting other people and the company itself. Once they do that, I think then the modders will feel a little bit safer and feel like, hey, we can support what you're doing.
Yeah, but luckily, you know, at the end of the presentation, though, Yahagi did, like, you know, note that there's nothing happening towards non-malicious, right? They're kind of still staying in the path of, you know, those that are actually trying to cheat and such. But, you know, he concludes with the call to developers to remain diligent, an ever-evolving legion of vaguely defined cheaters and pirates. So, you know, it wasn't all doom and gloom, but it was interesting stating that like internally that's how Capcom does see it, which doesn't mean, like I said, there's no plans on that towards, you know, the non-malicious, but doesn't mean it can't happen in the future. This new REX engine might do something about that.